Okay, so for this, I'm just looking at these, right? And so I just made a copy of that and I moved it just inside. I'm going to make that super dark. So I'm going to go into Y. Oh, because it's a gradient. Let me take it away. Do I want this to be a gradient right now? I don't. So I'm going to change it so it's not a gradient. And then I'm just going to dial it up so it's not super dark, but it can be a little bit dark. That's okay. And then I'm going to copy, paste in front again. And I'm going to come back and move that just inside. And then I'm going to eyedrop this color. And then I'm going to copy, paste in front one more time. And I'm going to move that just inside. And then I'm going to make that dark again. Okay, and so now we start to see that ridge, right? Now, I've made those way too dark compared to what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can come in and we can grab these. So we'll zoom in, way in. And I'm going to grab this one and this one. I'm going to make them both black. And then I'm going to take them from opacity. I'm going to go multiply. And I'm going to take this down, down, down until it just feels like it's mixing.
So here you have 4 circles?
Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah,
Yeah, but just in this line here. Okay.
Yeah. And all that was is I just looked at each edge, each change, and I saw another circle.
Okay.
Right. And so now that already is starting to look pretty good. Right? And then on the outside edge of this, I'm going to copy and paste them back this time. And I'm going to come out just a little bit. And then I'm going to darken that. And so how's the best way to do this? I can just come in here and darken each one of these. Let me get rid of this middle one. Double click here. Darken that up a little bit. Double click here. Darken that up a little bit. So you see how it's kind of adding a little edge on it?
Okay.
Same edge that we've got here. And if I want that not to be a hard edge, then I can take this shape and I can go Effect Blur Gaussian Blur and preview. And then what I'm doing is I'm basically making it a softer edge because the inside shape is going to have a softer edge now. So now we get that softer edge all the way around without using a gradient.
Nice.
Okay, and then I can come in and I can say, okay, so now let's deal with this gray one. Okay, and this gray one, I see, you know, it's mostly gray around the edge, but then there's a little sliver that's brighter on the inside there. But that sliver and that gray actually disappear, and they're not as apparent down here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy, paste in front, and then I'm going to take my arrow keys and I'm going to move that down about like that. And then I'm going to grab that one and this one, Shift M for my shape builder tool, and cut it. So now I have this ridge. Okay. And with that ridge, I can say, all right, so let's add a gradient and let's go white to white. And so I'm going to start with a white, and then I'm going to go to another white, get rid of this gray, and I'm going to just turn the opacity of one of those down to 0. And then I need to hit G to kind of see what's going on. And so I want this to be vertical, like this, and it's brighter here than here. I want that to be the other way around, so I'm going to flip that gradient and click on the flip button. Okay, and now it's brighter at the top. And I just need to see what's going on because there's a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so then we'll just mix it. So try screen. Screen looks pretty good for that, and then we just drop this down. Okay, but then I also want to get that little sliver edge There's a number of ways I could do that, but
The white one?
yeah, like that bright white one before it starts to give us ridges again.
Okay.
So I'm just going to grab this one anchor point that's in between these other ones. And actually, I didn't grab the right one. I want to grab this anchor point. Okay, and I just want to copy and paste in front. And so now I only have that line. Okay, and so I'm going to add just white to that line. And so I've got a fill and no stroke. I want to have a stroke and no fill. And then I'm going to take my line width tool and I'm just going to grab this and just pull it until it gives me that little sliver.
And that's the Shift W?
Shift W gives me the line width tool. And then I want this to taper off. And so now I have that little sliver there. You know, and that maybe that's too much. And so you can come and you can adjust it further and blend it down and things like that.
So instead this brown one, I should have a more light pink one, right?
Yeah, just like the one above it. There's multiple ridges to that, and so you should
Yeah.
put multiple ridges. It's actually not brown as much as it is.
So that's not another circle. It's what you.
Yeah, but if you made it this color, and then mixed it down more. So if it's like this, and then you kind of just.
But I have to use the shape builder again, so it doesn't show much here, or no?
Yeah, I would do another crescent. Yeah, and have that. And so you might even come in here based on your reference photo. You might even come in here like this, expand that out, copy paste in front, bring this down about like that, and then do the same thing that we did before. Shift M, Alt, click and drag. And then you're just going to mix this color so that it works, and then do multiple ridges. Then you'll put a shadow here. I see a shadow going on here, so put a shadow on the outside of the face. And so you're just going to start, you're basically just looking at each change in value or hue, and you make a new shape for that change.
Okay.
And that'll give you all of the tiny little details that right in here that make that look realistic.
Okay, but this wouldn't be here, right? This brown one.
It depends, because I see something down here where you go kind of big gradient, but then it gets dark and light and dark. And so you could do that here, or you could get rid of it. It's up to you.
Okay. And to create the shadow, I just do the same thing, draw inside.
Yeah, just grab
and
this.
Gradient.
Yeah, draw inside, and then just make a big black thing like this, and then get rid of the stroke, and then go Effect Gaussian Blur, blur it a lot, like that, and then Transparency Panel, multiply, opacity, blend it down, and then you just come in here and just, here we go, just bend this way up.
Okay.
And then you're just going to bend this so you get that little fuzzy edge there. And then once you have that where you want it, then you can kind of dial it back and make it soft and light and just barely there.
Okay.
Just a little hint of a shadow.